All right. House. This is another lesson, and it is going to be uh, on ALLODIAL title. You see, like I keep on saying, this slide is a slide that I've prepared um, um, for lesson. Let me say teaching. So it entails a lot. However, we are going to focus on the most important aspects that we'll be needing them so far as our exams is concerned. So specifically what we are doing, we are just trying to do some recap on the exams so that we get to know how to approach questions as and when we meet them. So we have several interests in land, but today specifically we are going to look at ALLODIAL title, ALLODIAL title. So when we talk about interest in land, don't forget interest in land. We have interest in land and we have rights in land. Please, before you start with your question, bring that one to bear. That we have interest in land and we have rights in land. At the moment you bring that one, there's someone who say, this person knows a lot, because you have been able to let us know that we have interest. Interest is there, and then right is there. So if you want to know what interest means, you can go to the interpretation aspect of the Land Act. The interpretation aspect of the Land Act is section 280. Section 280. Section 280 is the interpretation aspect of the section 281, forgive me. Section 281 is the interpretation aspect of the Land Act. Is the interpretation aspect of the Land Act. So you can go there, then you go through to get to know some of these things. All right. Now, we have interest in land, and then we have right in land. But ALLODIAL title is a right, is an interest in land. Interest in land. It's an interest in land. So, in fact, it is called a registrable interest in land. So, how are you going to begin it? How are you going to begin it? ALLODIAL title. ALLODIAL title. How are you going to begin it? Well, ALLODIAL title is one of the 6 interests in land. It's one of the 6 interests. So at the moment you say that, there's someone who say, okay, so it means he knows the interest there. ALLODIAL title is one of the 6 interests that one could held, or that could be held in land. It is worth noting or stating, or it is important to bring to bear or to bring to light that registrable interests in land are different from the rights or the registrable rights in land. So right from the introduction, you have given the examiner an idea that these 2 confusions that students find it so difficult to bring to bear or to bring to light, you know. So when you bring that one to light, the examiner says, yes, the student knows what he is talking about. Now, this interest or registrable interest subject to section 1 are section 1 of the Land Act. Section 1 of the Land Act. Section 1 of the Land Act. So Section 1 of the Land Act are allodial title, number 1. Don't forget, allodial title. That is number 1. So interest in land. Number 1 is an allodial title. I use an abbreviation ACCULC. You can write that one down. I call it ACCULC. ACCULC. That's what I used to teach. ACCULC. 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 Of which I use the A for allodial title. The first C for common law freehold. The first C for common law freehold. Common law freehold. Then the second C for customary law freehold. Customary law freehold. Don't forget I said ACCULC. So I've said, now I've given you ACC. A allodial, first C common law freehold, second C customary law freehold, ACCULC. The next one is U. Is U. U is usufructuary interest. Usufructuary interest. The next one is the L, leasehold interest. And the last one, ACCULC. C is customary tenancy. Customary tenancy. Law has a lot of terms. So sometimes if you are not able to devise a strategy to be able to recall them, you are always going to find yourself wanting. So ACCULC will help you. ACCULC. Yes, indeed, we are going to talk about allodial title, but make sure to bring to bear that there are 6 registrable interests in land according to Section 1 of the Land Act, or according to Section 1 of Act 1036. You have gotten one authority. Section 1. Section 1. Section 1 of the Land Act, or Section 1 of Act 1036, talks about registrable interest in land, or talks about the 6 registrable interests in land, which entails, or which are as follows: allodial title, common law freehold, customary law freehold, usufructuary interest, leasehold interest, and customary tenancy. For the purpose of my discussion, I shall shift my attention to allodial title. To allodial title. To allodial title. Allodial title. Under allodial title, I shall discuss what allodial title means, how it could be acquired, and how it could be lost. How it could be acquired and how it could be lost. The meaning of allodial title, acquisition of it, and how it could be lost. That's it. To begin with, allodial title. Yes, please.
Sorry to interrupt. My hand has been up all this while.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. So I just wanted you to clarify something. So in Article 266 of the Constitution.
Article 266.
1. Yeah,
okay.
it's no interest in or right over. That is my point of interest. I will not read the whole thing, but my point of interest is the opening. No interest in.
Unless we read the entire. I hope you are getting it.
Okay, so let me read the entire. So
Okay,
you see,
let me also open my own. Okay, so that we
okay,
read together. Okay, so Article 266, clause.
1.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so it says no interest in or right over any land in Ghana shall be created which vests in a person who is not a citizen of Ghana a freehold interest in any land in Ghana. My question actually is on interest and right. Okay, so when we come to Justice Ayese's book, he says when people say they own a land, they may only be referring to the particular interest or right they have in a piece of.
Sure.
Okay. Then, if you look at the Black's Law Dictionary, it says that interest in land, in defining, it says the right that someone or a person or a legal entity has in a land legally. So it looks like across the divide, the interest and the rights are just being used in a way that confuses we the new entrant. So I wanted to ask whether it is possible to clarify the two for us so that because moving on like that, we may not get a chance to actually know the difference. And in following the literature, it's like they themselves keep using them interchangeably and in a way that does not make the distinction so clear. So I wanted to ask whether it is possible for you to clarify the two terms for us.
All right. Before I even add my voice to it, I will first let the audience get to know that in exams it is not necessary to talk about the right in land to define it, because our focus shall be on interest in land. However, it is quite okay to bring it to bear that we have interest in land subject to Section 81. So let's go back to Section 81 of the Land
Okay.
Act. The Land Act.
Okay. So Section 81.
Good.
Please,
Registrable rights.
should I read
Yes,
it?
yes, please. You can. If okay, let's start from Section 81. Then we go to Section 82. So Section 81 talks about registrable interest. Then Section
Yes.
82 talks about registrable rights.
Oh, okay.
Are
Okay.
you getting it?
Yes, I see it now.
So the law is not at one area.
Oh, okay.
You go here, you come here, you go here. So you see mortgage. If
So
someone is entering
these
mortgage,
authorities themselves are also confusing the system. Oh.
wait, oh, I'm coming. If probably you want money, you go and use your house for mortgage or something like that, right?
Mm.
The bank will have right in that building you have, but they do not have interest in it.
Mm.
You have brought your house, let's say, as a collateral for money, and now you want to go and sell it. You can go and sell it. It is on collateral, so I have rights. And it is that right that will give me permission to exercise it, to bring you to court, to sue you. It is not my own. I don't have interest in it. So sometimes you say that, but I mean, I don't have interest in your dealings, but I'm just exercising my right. We don't
Okay.
exercise our interest in court. We exercise our right.
Okay.
I hope you are getting it.
Yeah, I've got it.
Something like license. We have license. Sometimes some of the buildings, you have all those ones, the leasehold, those stuffs. You have restrictive covenant. You have so all of them, they are not actually our focus. That's why I don't want to look at it.
Yeah.
When I was teaching the topic itself, when I was teaching my students, the topic itself, I explain it well.
Okay.
But
I
here
think
we are.
I think I'm okay with it.
You are
I
okay
don't
with
know
it now.
whether my colleagues are also okay.
Okay. All right. So I think now we can move on, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So so we just bring to bear that we have registrable interest subject to. So don't forget that the registrable interest, I first use section 1. I hope you remember that section. I use section 1.
Yes.
Good. Now, at the same time, you get it as section 81. Then you get 2 authorities.
Yeah.
Then you say the act also, let me, however, differentiates registrable interest from registrable right. Registrable rights are being spelled out in section 82 when you have 3 authorities.
Mm-hmm.
Section 82 talks about registrable rights. Section 81 talks about registrable interest being backed by section 1. Then you get the 2, just like this. Now, what's next? We have brought to bear the interest in land. If you want to beat the system, do you know what you're going to do?
Mm-hmm.
Section 1 talks about the registrable interest in land. Section 81 also talks about registrable interest in land to comprise allodial title. Allodial title, don't forget, I'm teaching you. You should know this. Even if it is not the exams, you should know this. When I was teaching my students, I told them, you see, I gave you abbreviation. Do you remember the abbreviation? It was ACOLC. A is allodial title, right?
Yeah.
Now I said section 1 talks about what? Section 1 talks about registrable interest in land. Is that not the case?
Section 81.
Section 1, 2. Don't forget. I said section 1, 2 talks about it.
Okay, section 1 is interest in land. Okay.
Land. I hope you are getting it.
Yeah.
So section 1 talks about interest in land. And this interest in lands are registrable according to section 81.
1, yes.
So section 1 talks about interest in land, and these interests are registrable according to section 81.
Yeah.
Now section 1 says interest in land. Then it made mention of allodial title ACOLC. Then from section 2 going, it started treating them one after the other.
Yeah.
So you don't need Barbaria to know this. Section 2, allodial title, because that's the first one, ACOLC. The reason why I give you ACOLC is that it will help you to know the components of the registrable interest. Number 2, it will help you to know where each one of them is under which session. Because ACOLC A, session 2, because session 1 talks about registrable interest. So session 2 begins with the treatment of the ACOLC. So which one is first? It's allodial title. So ACOLC, yes, ACOLC A, session 2. The next one is C, common law. Common law is session 3.
Section 3.
The next one is
Customary
C,
law.
another C, customary law, session 4.
Yeah.
The next one is usufructuary, session 5. The next one is leasehold. Let me project it here. The next one is leasehold interest, section 6. The next one is customary tenancy, section 7. I don't know whether you are getting it.
Yes.
So at the moment we are able to establish the fact, these are the allodial, this one, and then you state it explicitly that for the purpose of the question and the review, for the purpose of the question and the discussion, or for the purpose of my discussion, I shall focus on allodial title. Because that is the focus. Allodial title. Allodial title. Allodial title. Please For the right, they are 7, but for the interest, they are 6. You shouldn't forget. The interests are 6, but the rights are 7. You shouldn't forget. So that is how it is. So now let us begin with the allodial title. So number 1 is the allodial title. That's the one in red. So we are beginning with allodial title. What is the allodial title about? When you talk about allodial title, subject to Section 2 of the Land Act 2020 at 1036, it defines allodial title. In fact, allodial title in Ghana is the ultimate and highest interest. Please, when you write this one, underline it. Allodial title is the ultimate and highest interest held in land in Ghana. Underline this.
Please, why should we underline?
Hey, that is the core of allodial title. That is the secret. So at the moment you're able to write it, the examiner will say, the person knows it.
Okay.
So sometimes you are just trying to let it be catchy to bring the attention of the examiner that you know what you are talking about. In fact, you are trying to dodge him. You are trying to lure him so that when he loses at it, he won't even take time to go and read the charts. You won't go and look at the charts. You will just look at those ones that you have highlighted. Look at it. Hey, this one is a point. This one is then the person knows what he's talking about. So it's the ultimate and the highest interest held in land in Ghana. And then Section 2 of the Land Act defines allodial title. So it defines it to be the highest and ultimate interest in land. Highest and ultimate. Number 2, it is held by the state or a stool or skin or clan or family or an individual. Please remember, we are descendant. Look at it. Could be held by the state, stool or skin or clan or family or an individual. And may have been acquired through. So the section here alone has led us to get to know how allodial title is being acquired. Section 2 alone has led us to get to know that allodial title could be acquired by compulsory acquisition, by conquest, by pioneer discovery, settlement, gifts, purchase, or agreement. So it's the highest and ultimate interest in land. It is being held by the state, by the stool, by the skin, by clan, by family, by individual, and may be acquired through compulsory acquisition. Blah, 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 blah. That is allodial title. That is all that allodial title is about. That is all. That is all about allodial title. People have written a lot of stuff. You can talk about them, but they are not all that necessary. There have been a lot of argument, or there have been a lot of scholastic stuffs about it. So the next one, let us get to know that allodial title, allodial title is the supreme, absolute, and ultimate title. That is what Benji Angel said. It is the supreme, absolute, and ultimate title. So according to Benji Angel, he said that allodial title is the supreme, absolute, and ultimate title. It is supreme. Then you move on. It is supreme, absolute, and the highest title. Supreme, absolute is the main source or root of title in Ghana. Main source is the main source or root of title in Ghana, except a few special cases. So that is how it is. That is how it is. So we shouldn't forget. We shouldn't forget. We shouldn't forget. Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, please. Come in.
So is it the case that I don't know whether I heard you right, but I read somewhere that nobody in Ghana, for example, can have any other interest in land which can be higher than the allodial interest. But
Yes,
you've just also said that there are some exceptions,
yes.
some few cases. So can we get an example? And then in such a case, what kind of interest would that be?
Allodial title is the main source of, or root of title in Ghana, except in a
Okay.
few special cases.
Okay.
Allodial title. Now, the context of which I use this is the argument that allodial title are always allodial title always belongs to the stool or the skin.
Okay.
That is where the argument comes from.
Oh, okay.
Because most of the allodial title holders are the stool and the skin. They normally say that allodial title holders are the stool and the skin. So the exception is in the case of Dennis and Atta versus Abbeville, 1941, Divisional Court, Cape Coast. Dennis and Atta versus Abbeville. Yes, the land belonged to the stool, but the stool was owing the person and they defaulted. So the issue was being sent to court. And then court said, well, if you can't pay, then a portion of your land, you have to lose it.
So that would be agreement.
It's not agreement. Court doesn't need your agreement. It is an order. If bank is collapsing and then the bank cannot pay its customers, then you have to sell their house, their building, their asset in order to settle the debt. If court pronounces a judgment on someone, a person cannot pay, then their properties have to be sold in order to.
Okay.
You're owing someone, pay plus interest, you cannot pay. Then your asset has to be sold. And then the person says, yeah, no, there's no need to even sell it. I like it. Let's just value the portion of the land, which is equivalent to the amount he's owing me. Cut it for me. So from then, the person became a allodial title holder. But the person is not a stool. It's not a skin.
It's an individual.
Individual.
Please, can I get a case again?
Let me project it for you.
Okay, Dennis and Atta versus Abbeville.
Are you okay now?
Yes, sir.
So, you see, when you bring this one in, that look at how you are going to chip it. You are going to chip it in the discussion. Then you say that over the years, the argument has been that allodial title holders are either skin or a stool. However, we have some families and individuals who are also allodial title holders. In the case of Dennis and Atta versus Abbeville, 1941, you can ignore the date, where the stool defaulted to make payment or to settle a debt. A court gave a judgment that part of the land or their land is supposed to be used to settle that. This one I'm saying it from my mind. I'm not looking at the case here, but when you look at it from here, I think it was held that the purchaser at a subsequent auction sale of the land acquired the right title and interest of the stool, which could only be the allodial title holder. This also became one exception to the conventional position that the allodial title is vested only in stools and skins. So it is not always the case that allodial title holders are the stools and the skins. Even now, today, we can get an individual who will become a allodial title holder. If a paramount chief who is holding the land in trust for the citizens, if that person, if the paramount chief who is holding the land in trust for the subordinates or the subjects, that's the appropriate word, the subject, fails to settle the debt that the stool has acquired, then automatically you have to use something to compensate or to pay for it. And I think that is the land. You have to default it. You have to leave it. So I think that is how it is.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay. Let me also add another exception to it. Now I have given you individual, whereby an individual, right?
Yeah.
We can also have families. Not family is not a stool, or it's not a skin, but you can have a family being nuclear family also, or being extended family. It is family. It is not. It doesn't belong to the stool, right? Where do you base?
Myself?
Yes, please.
I'm in Accra.
Okay. I hope you know Ningo Pram Pram.
Yes.
Ningo Pram Pram. All those areas belong to a family.
Oh, I see.
Ningo Pram Pram.
I think I've read a certain case, Amoeda versus Podia or something.
So that place belongs to family. So
okay.
Yeah. When you go to Ewe land, some of the Ewe lands, it belongs to individuals. So some of the cases are here. You can make reference to them.
Great. Okay.
All right. Okay. And then, like I said, in Ewe land and then some parts of Gan region, those ones belong to individuals and then let us analyze the case of Sasraku versus Okai. Sasraku versus Okai. The Court of Appeal held that a stool might sell land to a stranger, retailing nothing more than a remote chance of reversion if the purchaser dies without succession. So you have to also bring to bear that in the case of Sasraku versus Okai, a principle was being established that the situation whereby a stool sells land to someone, if a stool sells land to someone, the individual becomes what? Allodial title holder. I hope you know that.
Oh, okay.
A stool. Otumfo say tutu has sold the land to someone. That person becomes allodial title holder. However, However, if that person dies without a successor, we call it a reversionary principle. The land will reverse back to the stool. So when you say these things, say, you killed the examiner. The person knows the principles. Sasaku versus Okai. The principle is that stool can sell land to an individual, what will let the individual become a allodial title holder. However, if the individual dies without a succession or a successor, the land will reverse. It will come back to the stool. Don't forget that. Yes.
Okay.
Is it well understood?
Yes. So I have a little confusion. So this allodial interest it's supposed to be the highest, the ultimate, and
Not supposed. It is.
It is okay. So under the current land act, the 1036, I think deed of conveyance has been outlawed.
What?
Conveyance, that is outright sale of land in perpetuity.
Is what?
Is it still allowed?
Selling land.
Yes, forever.
Oh, what does a forever mean? You have sold the things, you have sold it. You have sold the interest. You see, selling something. Okay. Anyway, you are now young in love, so sometimes I understand. Oh, it's true. Sometimes if you don't use the appropriate word, it becomes something else. You can sell something, but you hold the interest in it.
Okay.
I don't know whether you are getting it. So
Okay.
when you do commercial law, we have transfer of interest. We have sales. You can sell something, but you hold interest in it.
Okay.
I can sell my phone to you. I can even give the phone to you, but I hold interest in it. The interest in it is that I've sold the phone to you, but the phone will become yours with effect from July 1st. I've taken the money. The money is in my pocket. I've even given you the phone, but I have not given you the interest. I've not transferred the interest in the land to you, the interest in the phone to you.
Okay.
It happens when someone is buying land. I'm a pastor, and then the land we have bought at Takoradi, we want to use it to build our church. You see, we have bought the land, but the due process to transfer the land onto us is not due. When you buy land, you have to go and do search, you have to go and do that, you have to go and do that, everything. And finally, they will give you the whole document. Though you might have this all ups and downs, you should at least commit something to the owner of the land, right? You can even pay to third of the entire payment. That one is you have bought it. It's sold. The person has sold it. But now you have not become overall bona fide interest holder. So use appropriate terms.
Is it what is described as exclusive possession?
Yes, if you are having an exclusive possession, it means that no one can come on it. It belongs to you.
Okay.
Transfer of interest has finally come to you.
Okay.
Anyway, let's move on. Like we are looking at the exam aspect, so don't worry. Let's hit the nail by the head. All right, so we have gotten to know that we have explained what allodial title means. We started with registrable interest. We just opposed it registrable rights. We have listed some of the registrable interest. Our focus shall be on allodial title. We have explained what allodial title means. So allodial title, we have explained it. Then we have also brought to bear the misconception that when anytime we talk about allodial title, our attention has to go to the stool or the skin. That is wrong. In the case of Sastraku versus Okain, it was being held that individuals also could come in. And then we also have the one you said, Amio, that was Amio Ba. I remember that. Yes, I remember. Amilda
versus Podie. That is the
versus
Ningo. Yeah.
Ningo Pram. Amilda versus Podie. Good.
Podie. Yeah.
Yeah, that is Ningo Pram. So families also could hold could also hold title in that. So from there you go to how allodial title is being acquired. You can still go back to section 2, and then you support it with Ohemen versus Eji. Section 2. Then how could allodial title be acquired? So you go to section 2, and then you also support it with Ohemen versus Eji. Ohemen versus Eji. However, you criticize this one a bit. Make sure to criticize a bit in the case of Ohemen versus Eji. So there are 4 principal methods in the case of Ohemen versus Eji. He made mention of 4 principal methods. He said that there are 4 principal methods by which a stool acquire land. They are conquest and subsequent settlement thereon and cultivation by subjects of the stool. So you say by conquest, simple. Number 2 is discovery by hunters or pioneers of the stool of unoccupied land and subsequent settlement and use thereof by the stool and its subjects. Then you say by pioneer discovery. By pioneer discovery. The next one is gift to the stool. So a stool can gift a land to a stool, or a stool can gift a land to an individual. So you bring that one also to bear. And then purchased by the stool. A stool also could purchase it. So how are you going to criticize this? Criticize from the context of conquest. Tell them, let them know that yes, in the case of Ohemen versus AJ, it was being noticed that allodial title could be acquired by conquest. However, in our present age, that war is not part of our endeavors. Individuals cannot acquire land by conquest any longer. I hope you are getting it. And
Yes.
then discovery by hunters.
Yes, pioneer discovery too.
Very good. That one too. You disprove it.
In
Then
Ghana.
good. There is no ownerless land. You are getting the concept. Now you are a lawyer. So there is no ownerless land in Ghana. So pioneers discovery, where are you going to discover it? So that is how it is. And then after criticizing Ohemen versus Ajay, then you say quickly, let me shift your attention to section 2 of the Land Act. Section 2, which talks about how allodial title could be acquired. Section 2, how allodial title could be acquired. So you quickly go there and say that and may have been acquired through compulsory acquisition, conquest, pioneer discovery, and settlement, gift, purchase, or agreement. So you add the rest to it. You add the rest to it under section 2. So that is all about Wahimi versus J. The case is plenty, but that is the concept within it. Again, once you are ending on the acquisition, then you let us know that, however, if a stool is trying to sell a stool land, if an occupant of a stool is trying to sell a stool land without the knowledge of the principal members of the family or the principal members of the stool, then the principal members can stand up against it and prevent it from happening. So that is how it is. So that is the concept there. So Wahimin versus AJ, a lot the case, but I've briefed them. Sorry, I've briefed it and then made it so short here. But that's the concept in it. The concept is that Wahimin versus AJ under allodial title is giving us how allodial title could be acquired. Under allodial title, though it's cuts across different areas, but under allodial title, it is giving us how allodial title could be acquired. And then the old ways of acquiring the allodial title, like I told you, conquest in present day age, traditional states do not go to war. And then discovery of land, there are no ownerless land in Ghana. There are no ownerless land in Ghana. So that is how it is. So okay. Simplicity, how is the allodial title acquired? In our present age. In our present age, gift, purchase, agreement, compulsory acquisition. In the old age is conquest, discovery of land by hunters. So you divide it into two: old ways of acquiring the allodial title and the present ways of acquiring the allodial title. I'm telling you, if you're able to write like this, by the time you finish, you have gotten 4 pages. I've gotten 3 to 4 pages, 4 to 5 pages. Then you yourself, you can put your hand on your chest. Bah, 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 I'll get A. Yes. So, we shall wear.
But
so,
before you move, there is an interesting principle I saw in Onyemen versus AJ. I wanted to read.
Wait to under allodial title.
Yes.
Okay.
So one of the holdings the court gave, and that is what actually won the case for the defendant. So the native court made certain specific findings of facts. They also held it to be established law and custom that undisturbed possession of land for 15 years would have vested ownership of the land in the person in such possession.
Okay, this one talks about how it could be lost.
Does it still apply in modern times?
Yes, that one you are talking about statute of limitation, adverse possession, how it could be lost, subject to section 10 of the Limitation Act 1975. A person shall not bring an action to recover a land after the expiration of 12 years from the date on which the right of action accrued to the person bringing it, or if it first accrued to a person through whom the first mentioned claims to that person. Section 10, subsection 1 of the Limitation Act 1975.
Yeah, whoa.
So don't be thinking about that. You forget it.
Okay.
You don't need everything to get you.
Okay.
Yes, indeed, as a lawyer, like I like the way you are bringing certain things. It means you have read why, like you have read why. I like that. I like that. It makes the discussion interesting. That's what I like. It shouldn't be something that only one person will be talking. No. I don't like that. It shows that you have read. So what you spoke about, it was for 15 years. It was even beyond the 12 years. The statutory requirement is 12 years. Adverse possession, statute of limitation, section 10, subsection 1 of the Limitation Act 1975. A person shall not bring an action to recover a land after the expiration of 12 years from the date on which the right of action accrued to the person bringing it, or if it first accrued to a person through whom the first mentioned claims to that person.
I see. Okay.
Good. So now we are going back to what we have at hand as it stands now. I think we are still on there. So once you have done it, please, you said Amioda versus
Podieer. Podieer.
Good. At the same time, you can also use Jamestown versus Impestu. Jamestown, which is Alatas 2, and another versus Impestu. The history of Jamestown, and then the Alata and those people. And the land was being, let me project it so that if you want to take a screenshot, you can take screenshot and then go through it. Do you see it even up to the latter part?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's how it is. Yes, Amioda versus Podieer. I have it here. Ningo. Oh, I see. So Ningo families and then Pram. Amioda versus Podieer. And then Amioda versus Fozi. That one also is a consolidated. It is consolidated case. So quickly, let us look at how one could forfeit, how allodial title could be lost. And then we are done with allodial title. How allodial title is lost. How it is lost. Number one, look at how I did it. This is what helps me to study my law. I used Gaska. Hey, my boss, my lowest grade in law is B.O. B for boy.
Hey.
Hey. It's B for boy. I'm doing two programs at the same time. I don't get time for law. Unless I would have gotten 4.0. Law. Oh. I'm doing my third degree on UCC campus at the same time doing the law.
University
so Gaska,
of Confusion.
constant confusion. You know right. It's not easy. They worry, Papa.
UCC.
So Gaska, G stands for gift. A stands for abandonment. S stands for sale. C stands for compulsory acquisition, Article 20. Then conquest. Then acquiescence. The gift. What do you talk about? The gift We're talking about where land with allodial title is gifted out to another. When we gift out allodial title holders, they gift it out to someone. Sale, where an owner of land, which is vested the allodial title, sells the land. Conquest, you can get the land by conquest. You could also lose it by conquest. Someone also conquering you. When you become a vanquish, now you see Russia is invading. Russia is now capturing Ukraine small, little by little. I listen to current affairs. So conquest. And then we have compulsory acquisition. Government could also acquire the land, whereby the land will be beneficial to the entire public. Then we have what is called acquiescence. We have what is called acquiescence. So that is how it is. All right. So we are done with allodial title. Allodial title. I think it is well understood. So now we have two questions for exams. Land, allodial title. We have two questions for exams. Yes. Any question?
Please, the Gasca.
Yes, please.
The S is for
Sale.
yeah. Sale. Okay, thank you.
All right.